So the majority of tour players do this move in the downswing. Rory McIlroy, Adam Scott, Tiger Woods, they all have this pattern specifically around this lead wrist as they start in transition. It's very, very common in elite players to have this motion, and it's very, very common in amateur players to have the exact opposite motion. So what are we talking about? So I've got the hack motion on here, which will help explain it visually, and we're going to talk a little bit about extension and flexion. So extension's where this wrist moves here, so commonly known as cupping, or flexion or bowing is when the wrist moves here. So what you'll see with a lot of great players, it's not always the case that everybody does it, but a vast majority of the guys that are elite ball strikers do this, is as they get to the top of the swing, we can have different positions. You know, we could be a little bit more extended or cupped, or have a really flat left wrist or a little bit bowed. But what happens in transition is key. It's key to shallowing and key to then allowing that shallowing motion to allow the body to rotate. So what it is a lot of these guys, when they get up to the top of the swing, is what they'll do is, as we can see with this hack motion, is they'll move from this position toward a more flexed position. Now, as you can see, what this is doing is, one, it's closing that club face, and two, you can see how the center of mass of this club is starting to drop behind me, or in other words, shallowing. So this move here is what we see from all, or the majority of top players, this little subtle move towards flexion in that lead wrist, and that helps drop that club into the slot shallower, and then from here we can rotate the body. Whereas most amateurs will get to this position here, they may even be in too much of an extended position, but if we just get into a flat wrist, nice position here, is what we'll see is most amateurs will then move towards extension in that lead wrist. So they'll move this way in downswing. What that does is it opens the club face, steepens the shaft, and then we get this move where we lose posture and come across the ball. Now, it's very, very difficult sometimes to actually see that move on camera. That's where something like this hack motion is really, really good, because we can see this subtle move towards flexion. It's very, very subtle, but it's what most of the great players do, because it allows the center of the mass to fall behind the hands and then strengthen the club face so they can rotate the body. It's very, very powerful, and it's really, really key to great ball striking. Like I say, get here and then we move towards the flexion. This is where something like the hack motion is really, really good, is that I'll do this because it's something I struggle with, is I have the hack motion, as you can see on camera, and actually start to work those wrist angles and get that feeling, okay, I'm here, okay, let's move a little bit more towards flexion. You can put the audio biofeedback on, or you can just watch it on the iPad or on the iPhone to really feel that motion of moving towards flexion, and then from here we can start to rotate the body. Like I said, most guys on tour do follow that pattern. You've got your exceptions. Think about Will Zalatoris. John Ram does actually move towards extension a little bit in downswing, then reflexes it, but these guys are unicorn. Look at the vast majority of tour players, they move towards flexion in that downswing. Why? Because it's a proven way to shallow that club, aid in rotation, and hit better shots. I love this tool to actually see it, to give you the feedback, and also it's something that's quite affordable for guys at home. I've put a link actually in the description. You get about 5% off. So if you're interested in the hack motion, I'd highly recommend clicking the link in the description, or if you have any questions, just drop a question in the comments. If you've liked this video, please hit the subscribe, like button. Thank you.